They know it's going to last. It's funny how you qualify for a lower rate then. It's funny how you qualify for a principal reduction. Sometimes qualifying is simply making the bank miserable enough that they're willing to take it. That's what qualifying means. Okay? Now, sometimes qualifying means, listen, no matter what you do, you will not be able to pay for that house. I can accept that. We have dealt with clients who said, listen, I can pay $200 a month. Listen, I'm a miracle worker, but you aren't getting a $500,000 house for $200 a month. Now, I'm not saying that the bank is wrong. I'm saying in some situations where it just doesn't work out, they're saying, listen, come on, it's a $500,000 house. Even if they act fairly, there's no way we can work that deal. But there is a very high percentage where they can work that deal. And it's fair to them, and it's fair to you. And that's one less home that got foreclosed on. Deficiencies. That's the ugly word in the room. Write that one down, because that's like a disease that keeps coming back. The difference between the deficiency and the fair market value is your deficiency. Meaning, if your house is $200,000 and fair market is $100,000, the difference is $100,000. That is referred to as the deficiency. At the end of this foreclosure process, the bank can go after you for the deficiency. They can sell that right for $50. And you could be standing in a courtroom and having to argue with a judge about how much you make a month and everything else, so you can pay back that $100,000. Now that is one of the worst parts about the foreclosure system. That fear alone should get you running to a lawyer. Because even after the house is gone, they can come after you. Make sure that you do everything possible. Even if you don't see a lawyer, let them sign the property over and see if they're willing to accept.
There are several reasons you may want to consider consulting or hiring an attorney. A foreclosure attorney can legally advise you of your rights and represent you in a court of law. An attorney will negotiate with your lender or in conjunction with a certified housing counselor to work out a solution. An attorney will defend you in a foreclosure proceeding and possibly buy you time to stay in your home, sell your home for a fair price, refinance, continue collecting rent, or file a Chapter 13 or 7 bankruptcy.
What is a short sale, real quick? Somebody buying the house for less than what you owe, and the bank has to okay it. Normally short sales, a lot of investment companies buy short sales because they can sit 6-7 months and wait for it. Survival is sometimes hard. And sometimes you have to decide what you can afford and what you can't afford. If you have 4 bills, and one of them is the Visa bill, the mortgage bill, the money I owe the school, or whatever, you have to make decisions. And we sometimes have to make tough financial decisions. And I'm not telling you to stop paying on your mortgages. I want to make that clear to you. What I am saying is that you might have to make that decision. You might choose to make that decision because you just can't afford it anymore. Excusable neglect. It's a nice legal word. It means that there's a reason you didn't file your answer. There's a reason why you didn't fight this case earlier. Some of it involves, I was out of the country. I didn't know. I couldn't handle it at this time, which another thing goes when somebody you trust, a lost mid company, a real estate agent, somebody like that gave you this advice that you didn't have to. The lender said, don't worry about it. Excusable neglect. The process of a foreclosure is this. Remember this real quick. Default, I didn't pay. Lawyer files a foreclosure, which is called a lis pendens. I had 20 days to answer and didn't. Attorney files a clerk's default, which means they don't even even have to go into court. Do you have an answer? No, I don't have an answer either. So they didn't file, so I'm going to default you. Summary judgment, meaning, hey, let's set up a sale date, get it going. Bye! That's the process. Whatever stage you're in between, if you're in between the summary judgment and the default, you know, we might be able to get that answer in. After summary judgment, not so easy. I have to lift the default, I have to lift the summary judgment, and I have to give the judge a great reason why you didn't do what you were supposed to do. I get it before. Best scenario I'm in is within that 20 days. Now, whether you know it or not, there are a lot of things you can do before you have to file that answer. If they didn't comply with certain rules, we can file motions to force them to comply. And we don't have to file an answer until they answer our motions. The point is to make them do what they're supposed to do. Now, there's always a chance. I mean, I've pulled sales off the table 2 days before they're going to happen. Is that the norm? No. But it can happen. So, anytime you get the opportunity to fight. Throw down the gloves, say, listen, I had nothing. Show up with your attorney in court and say, listen, I did my best. I talked with these people. I went to HUD. I did all I could. I just need an opportunity. I would have filed an answer. I just didn't know I could. La 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 la. Stand up. Don't let yourself be run over by people. It puts you in a position where you feel less. You wake up every morning sick about your finances. But the minute you start feeling better is when you're doing something about it. When you can't take action on something or feel, and you have to watch this train coming, it's horrible. You know, in the end, there are tough decisions. And you have to choose what's right for you.
We know that you have learned from this financial series and hope that you will remember the tips and recommendations given to you, because indeed they will help you and your family in these tough economic times.